And for me, this is unacceptable for me. Because this is the first time in my career to see a situation like this.
Ange in or Ange out, we're going to talk about the Spurs coach, Ange Postecoglou, and the last game against Leicester City where they lost after leading the game as they tend to do. So a lot of the conversation is based on possibly getting the coach out, but the conversation has shifted to saying that it's probably the upper management that's really causing all these issues. And real quick, I guess, and not to make it too formal, but what have you seen on the internet so far about people's reactions to all this stuff?
I think it's almost like a general consensus too that they don't want him out.
Right.
But
if you watch the game,
because here's why. And this is Tottenham fans put on a big yellow banner.
Yeah.
24 years, 16 managers, 1 trophy. It's time for a change.
Right.
And
that's a crazy turnover rate. It's 1.5 years of coaches. They're turning over pretty much every year.
I mean, I think right, the biggest success I think that we've ever that they've ever had in Tottenham history is more under Pochettino.
Yeah.
Right, they went to the Champions League final. They came in second place in the league. Right, things were looking up.
Yeah,
and he said it. He was like, we have the team. This is a great team, but I need investments now.
Yeah,
right. I need to pick out a couple.
I think he said that at the end of
the Champions League thing. Yeah, he's like, I need investments now. I need backing.
I am only coaching them, trying to get the best from them, and this type of things that is going to happen or not happen, sell, buy players, extend the contract, not extend the contract, I think it's not in my hands. It's in the club hands, and it's in Daniel Levy, and at the moment I am managing the team in the best way possible.
Yeah. This is the perfect time, so then Tottenham can go to another level.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. We kind of lost everyone.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah. Yeah. That any other organization or team sees you're championship ready, invest in the club because they're right there.
Yeah, in soccer it's a little different, right? You see this is the building of it. It's almost like what Arsenal's doing. They're building, they're getting constant second place. And now they're like, okay, now I need some real big players, right? I need a big star as a striker because that's all they're technically missing, right? To be kind of complete.
Right.
They need a
big time striker.
Like a Haaland. You're not going to get him, but I'm just saying it doesn't come to mind right
now. Right. You just need a big time striker.
You need a big time striker.
Yeah.
And Arsenal looks scary.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple a good backup or whatever, and you're good to go. Tottenham, we regressed. We went back and back and back.
Yeah.
Sold Kane. What do we do with that money? We invested it in youth, which I get it, but that also means you don't want to win now.
Right, you don't want to win
right now, right? Archie. Basically, what it's looking like is okay, Archie and Bergvall will play really good in the next 2-3 years. And then we bought them for 35, 40 each. And then we could sell them for 80. That's not... we're looking at it as profit. That kind of blows.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be Ange shouldn't go out. I don't think it's fair for him. He's made it super exciting. I think Daniel Levy needs to go out.
Or it needs to change...
Or just not have a finger in the club like that either. Hire a GM that... spends and can scout and all this stuff like that.
That does the business.
Yeah, I don't need a Jerry Jones-esque type of...
I want me some glory hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Deep cut, right?
Yeah, I don't need that.
Yeah. Do a comparison of the coaches that have left Tottenham in the last couple of years and where they're at right now.
As of this moment, the coaches that Tottenham have let go. So Mourinho was sacked in April 2021. And that was before a cup game too, which was kind of
that was such a weird weird. To this day, I'm like, why'd they do that?
Okay.
We're super not.
Okay.
I don't know what that was.
Then we went to Nuno Espirito Santo,
Mm-hmm.
and that was almost like a weird coaching, right?
Yeah,
like it was
coach
because
pick.
I think we missed out on coaches that went
I
elsewhere.
think he was a Wolves coach. He was
Yeah.
a Wolves coach, and he had kind
So
of like.
since we sacked him, he went to Nottingham, and Nottingham's in third place right now in the Premier League, doing stuff that like
Well, he kind of, for a moment, he kind of was like. I think his tenure at Tottenham maybe brought his stock down because he went to. I think if I'm not mistaken, he went to
Saudi or something.
In the Netherlands, he went. Yeah, he went to.
I can't remember where. But
he went to a weird thing, and so now he came back, his Premier League back, and now they're at third place.
Conte with Napoli.
Yeah,
is now with Napoli. Sorry, I should say, and they're in first place. So the coaches we fired that we said weren't good enough or whatever. Second place in another league, third place in the Premier League, first place in the Italian league.
Right. And Tottenham is what right now?
And Tottenham is 15th.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at some point, now, it can't be the managers anymore.
If you've been paying attention, I think you would have known that it wasn't for the longest time.
For the longest time.
I don't know if it was Pochettino. Who was it? I think it started with him. But they didn't bring anyone in? Not one person?
Yeah. For 2 transfers, they didn't get anyone.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Not one person, I think, came in. And it was it was making the rounds because they're like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
They're like, no team is doing that right now. How are they just like, okay with just like, all right, we don't need anybody. Okay. We're good.
That was the whole point of them like starting to sell players too.
So Ange in.
I say keep him. I think he's
but what happens if they sack him? Like what's the reality?
The reality is I don't know who they get.
No one's gonna come.
Who's available?
No one's
gonna want to come. Like it's why go? You're gonna ruin your coach stock.
That's what's
you're not gonna get backing. The only person that's gonna take this Tottenham job is someone who is like coaching second division or third division, something. So you can show what I can bring to the table and then kind of go somewhere else. Like you use this as a trampoline to go to a bigger job, which is nuts because Tottenham is a big job.
Yeah.
Big ass stadium, brand new stadium. And that's another thing that's messed up is that we suck. He's not investing in anything, but the ticket prices are still going up.
Right.
So
people are getting pissed about that. I don't want to be pessimistic, but I don't see this ending well because I don't think that they're gonna change. So what's gonna end up happening is that it's going to be one of those things where the fans have to
boycott.
Protest. Yeah, boycott.
Or don't even show up to the game.
Something drastic because if people keep paying, the numbers don't change. Like in terms of money, no, they're not gonna want to change anything because they're like, well, I know it's unpopular, but we're still getting the finances in order and what we need, so we're okay. We're gonna keep pushing. I think that's always been the case because they've always been like, we're close, we're top 3, and that was good enough. And then it became we have a new stadium coming, so that's gonna make us good. It's always we're right there. It's always they're giving the fans the carrot or the pretend. I'm going to give you the carrot, and they just take it away, And that's it's becoming now with the ticket increases. But we have a coach where I think they didn't expect this, is that there's a coach that people like. And nobody liked Nuno. He wasn't bad, but just nobody really liked him. Mourinho, nobody liked him. Conte, nobody liked him. So when even though you have a situation at a club where it's not going well for you at the upper management level, so you as a coach have to suffer that. it makes it worse when you're not
Yeah.
charming, charismatic, because people are like, well, yeah, you suck. Like, nobody wants you here. Now that big speech that Conte gave,
Tottenham will always be Tottenham because they don't spend it,
right.
you know?
Now that speech is like ahead of its time at this point, because they're like, oh, he called it out straight. He's like, they don't want to spend, they don't want to change, and like, it can't expect me to do miracles. What do you expect? And it's going to stay like that. Bring whoever you want, he said. No coach is going to come here and change that, because that's not the coach's job to change the monetary spending. You know what I mean? That's not his job.
He said that the culture would never change as long as we have an owner like that.
And for me, this is unacceptable for me. Because this is the first time in my career to see a situation like this.
Yeah.
So
either he has to change if he wants to stay part of the club and, managing and all that kind of stuff, or he takes a back seat, realizes but at that level, I mean, do you think anyone can be like, put their ego aside and be like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna...
He's been had an ego. Look how his ego was when he was selling Harry Kane. Right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not selling him for anything. And then 100 mil came in, and he goes, well, and then he promised Harry Kane one summer. He's like, hey, I'm going to let you go this summer. I promise. You did well for us. Then he goes, never mind. I don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
That's, you look how you treat them. Then I get it. There's a business side of it and all that stuff like that. But he just seems like a douche, man. Like.
Yeah. Well, I hope Ange stays, because if he gets the backing that he needs, I think the team's going to look great. I mean, they show promise when everyone's been good, so it's not like it's something that you can't understand. But with 11 players out...
Yeah, that's 11 players injured.
With 11 players on your team injured, I can't think of any team...
Well, let's see. Like, right, everyone wants to, like, oh, you're making excuses. Man City don't look the same since Rodri left. And since he tore his ACL. They dropped a lot.
Yeah.
Arsenal lost Saka for a month.
Yeah.
And they look completely different.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Salah was injured for a little bit, and everybody was just like, oh, Liverpool's... So, like... But now Tottenham are different. We're losing 11... We have 11 injured.
Yeah. And I'm not
saying like that would make us like number 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make us 15th though.
100% it would make you 15th.
I mean, I'm saying like if
I'm saying you wouldn't be where you're at if you didn't have that many injuries. Look, the issue gets compounded. You play too many games, you play at a high level, you're gonna have injuries. You don't have a bench deep enough, so the players that haven't get rested have to keep playing. They're more prone to get injured now. Now the percentages go up. And then it just keeps going and going. Because everyone just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. And then the last guy standing, who's been playing 90 minutes for the past 2 months, twice a week, all of a sudden his legs go out. And then people are like, wow, like, it's you can't even say it's a high level. It's not, I wouldn't even say it's how even Ange plays. It's just like you're bound to get hurt at that level. You don't have a backup. You don't have rest days. You don't have anything to like help you be a better player, because the system isn't made to help you as a player or the coach. And then who does it fall on? I'm saying the conversation has shifted, because before it wasn't a stretch to say like, get Conte out of here because he sucks. He's toxic as fuck, whatever. But then you look back and you're like, yeah, I guess he wasn't bullshitting, you know? So
I mean, he was always straightforward, and if that's what you think is toxic, then I guess.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, anyway. Ange in.
Ange out, Levy out.
Levy out, Ange in. Levy out.
Bye, everybody.
All right.